There we go.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So it was just recently reported that Mikey Garcia is planning to move up to the 140-pound division. Very interesting news. Very interesting news. Now, the first thing I will say is, this is good news for the fans. We'll see if this is good news for Mikey Garcia. Now, even though Mikey Garcia's reputation took a huge hit when he avoided the Gamboa fight, which would have been a huge fight on HBO, since Mikey Garcia wasn't willing to step in with Gamboa, Terrence Crawford, he stepped in, fought Gamboa with no problem, and became the first man to beat and knock out Gamboa. Mikey Garcia, he had that opportunity. Not saying he would have won. I mean, it was a 50-50 fight. But he could have done what Terrence Crawford did, and he decided not to. Now he's been out of the ring forever. He's been going through legal battles with Bob Arum, which coincidentally didn't even start until they start talking about making a Mikey Garcia versus Gamboa fight. So now we fast forward to present day, and Mikey Garcia wants to move up to the 140-pound division. When you look at the fighters that are at the 140-pound division, and you know, these are just pictures right here you're looking at right here. These are just the top names, and I guess most of the top fighters at 140. But when you look at all of these fighters, this is a stacked division. It is a stacked division, and you got to really wonder, was this a smart move for Mikey Garcia? I mean, the whole thing with Mikey Garcia, this is what I truly believe is going on right now in this Garcia camp. You see, for those of you guys who don't know, Robert Garcia, he was in Mikey Garcia's exact shoes when he was around Mikey Garcia's age. Robert Garcia was an undefeated junior lightweight champion, and he was very good. He was a very good fighter, Robert Garcia was, right? The mistake that Robert Garcia made was thinking that he was truly the best, but he found out that was not the case when he got in the ring with a beast named Diego Chico Corrales. Diego Corrales, he knocked Robert Garcia out. Now, Robert Garcia, I'll give him credit, he was actually doing very good in that fight. But the problem was Diego Corrales, he had somewhat of a Margarito style, but with just more hand speed. And he was just walking through everything that Garcia basically threw at him. And in the process, like I said, Garcia ended up getting knocked out. So what I'm saying is, I truly believe Big Brother is looking after Little Brother. You know what I'm saying? Or Baby Brother. He's looking after him. Robert Garcia does not want to see Mikey go through the same stuff that he went through, which is losing at a very young age. So this is the reason why we never got to see Garcia versus Gamboa. And on top of that, I don't think it helped that Robert Garcia, he had been knocked out by a Cuban fighter in his career. Okay? So going back to the 140-pound division, now Mikey Garcia, he wants to move up. The question is, who is his big brother going to allow him to fight? I mean, eventually you're going to have to fight one of these guys. And believe it or not, I'll tell you right now, I think Mikey Garcia against any of these fighters is a very competitive fight. Despite the fact that we really don't know how Mikey Garcia is going to deal with the extra weight, being at a heavier weight class, but the fact that he's moving up to 140 and he's electing to do so, it suggests to me that Mikey Garcia, he possibly walks around heavy and he will be very comfortable at 140, or at least he feels he'll be comfortable, because it's a whole different game once you step in the actual ring and fight someone at a new higher weight division, right? So we'll see, man. We will see how he deals with this new weight class, and who will he fight. Like I said, guys, you can only avoid so many fighters before you're forced to fight at least one of them. Listen, man, the majority of relevant fighters in the sport of boxing, they have been accused of ducking someone in their career. Okay? Now, in a situation like this that Mikey Garcia is in, what a guy who has been accused of ducking someone previously would usually do is say, okay, if I'm not going to fight that guy that they accuse me of ducking, I'll fight another big name guy. You know, to kind of erase that memory of me ducking this guy. That's what a lot of fighters do. So the question is, who is Mikey Garcia going to fight to try to partially erase that memory of him avoiding Gamboa? Who is he going to fight? Lamont Peterson? Very difficult fight. Danny Garcia? Difficult fight. Adrian the Problem Broner? Very interesting fight. That might be his most competitive fight right there. Because like I said, with Adrian Broner, he takes breaks. Just little small breaks sometimes. So that would be an interesting fight. Mikey Garcia versus Lucas Matisse. Stay as far away as possible from Lucas Matisse. I'm just going to say it just like that. And the reason why I say that is because if you guys watch the Mikey Garcia versus Orlando Salido fight, even though Mikey Garcia knocked down Salido a million times in a fight, you still have to watch how the fight was progressing. Momentum was starting to lean in Orlando Salido's favor. He was starting to put on more and more pressure to the point where Mikey Garcia got more and more uncomfortable. Mikey Garcia is very uncomfortable on the inside. He has a great 1-2. He has a great jab, great 1-2. He even has a good little counter hook. But he is very uncomfortable on the inside, because there were times when Salido got close and all Mikey Garcia did was he would tie up, he would frantically move away from Orlando Salido. He just looked very uncomfortable. You didn't see any inside type of counter uppercuts or anything like that, right? So you're fighting someone like Lucas Matisse. Lucas Matisse is an intelligent, aggressive fighter. I say he's an intelligent, aggressive fighter because he applies pressure with very good defense for a pressure fighter. Not only that, but he has great counterpunching ability. He throws a great overhand right over your jab. Okay? And his hooks are very impressive. So I think Big Brother will make sure Mikey Garcia doesn't come close to a Matisse. So once again, who does that leave him to fight? He's, like I said, once again, he's going to have to fight one of these guys. Mikey Garcia fans, who do you think Mikey should fight in his next, I would say in his next two fights? Within his next two fights, who do you guys think he should fight? I'm sure you guys even agree with me, right? He's got to fight one of these guys. I think Mikey Garcia versus Adrian Broner, like I said, that would be a huge fight. We already know that. That would be a huge fight. But all of these fights realistically will be huge fights. But Adrian Broner, he's the one that really has the most popular name out of the four. So yeah, man, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It is very difficult to avoid everyone. You could get away with avoiding one fighter, maybe even two, but it's very difficult to avoid everyone. And I'll tell you right now, HBO, they are going to put the pressure on Mikey Garcia. They're going to say, look, Mike, if you want an HBO date, you got to fight someone. You got to fight a name. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, when Mikey Garcia turned down the Gamboa fight, he was telling the media, who is Gamboa? Who has he fought? This and that. He's nobody, basically, right? So then Mikey Garcia, right after he says that, he tries to turn around and he tries to fight even more of a nobody. And guess what HBO said? They said, Mikey Garcia, you're not bringing that shit to HBO. You go fight. You want to go fight Mr. Nobody? You could fight his ass on Fox Sports. You could fight his ass on ESPN. You ain't doing it on this network. So it's so funny because when HBO told Mikey Garcia this is when all of a sudden Mikey Garcia's career was in limbo. All of a sudden he's sitting on the sidelines forever because he tried to present a fighter that HBO did not find worthy. And Mikey Garcia it seemed like almost frustrated. Like, this is ridiculous. You telling me I have to either fight Gamboa or nobody? But things are getting very, very difficult for Mikey Garcia. Because like I said, not only do you have these four fighters, but then you have another fighter that I believe is rapidly rising up the pound for pound ladder, and that is Terrence Crawford, a fighter that beat Mikey Garcia twice in the amateurs. He's also talking about moving up to 140 after his fight with Beltran. So, man, it's going to be interesting, man. It is going to really be interesting to see what Mikey Garcia does. Once again, man, I told you guys, I truly believe Garcia is competitive with all of these guys, and he could beat some of these fighters. All of these fights are very intriguing fights. All four of the ones that I have right here, these are very intriguing fights. But I truly believe Mikey Garcia's toughest fights out of the four will be against Lamont Peterson and Lucas Matisse. Those are, I truly believe, Mikey Garcia's toughest fights out of the four. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Broner and Danny Garcia can't beat him. I'm just saying when it comes to moving up in weight, and you're already going to be fighting against guys that are bigger. Some of them are going to be naturally bigger than Mikey Garcia. So they already have a little bit of a strength or a weight advantage over Mikey Garcia. On top of all of that, you add on to that these fighters are pressure fighters. That makes it even more difficult for Mikey Garcia to win a fight against someone like that. So not only are these guys at a higher weight class, but they're pressure fighters. So they are double the threat for someone like Mikey Garcia. So, once again, man, this is an interesting development. I really can't wait to see who Mikey Garcia is going to fight next. Will HBO allow him to even fight on HBO if he tries to pick another dud? Will he end up fighting on ESPN or Fox Sports in his next fight? It'll be interesting. But there's another fighter on this picture right now that also doesn't want to fight anyone at his division. And that's Danny Swift Garcia. We tried to give him a little bit, I can't say we gave him a pass, but we gave him a pass when he fought against Mauricio Herrera. Now that I could say, because I was about to say when he fought against Soka. We didn't give him a pass when he fought against Soka. But we gave Danny Garcia a pass when he fought against Herrera. Okay, he just beat Lucas Matisse. Let's go ahead and let him fight what's supposed to be an easy fight, but it turned out to be life and death for Danny Garcia. right? We let that one pass. Now or after that, he ends up fighting against Rod Soka. Now Danny Garcia completely has the fans puzzled. Like, what happened? You reach this plateau of defeating Lucas Matisse, then all of a sudden you start to descend, constantly fighting bum after bum. And then on top of that, he turns down a Lamont Peterson fight. Who is Lamont Peterson? So on and so forth, right? So he turns down Lamont Peterson. Then he has his mandatory, which is a dangerous mandatory. Postal. I believe it's Victor Postal. This dude, I've seen him fight. This is a very good fighter. This guy has power. He has boxing ability. He can fight on the outside. He can fight on the inside. Very dangerous opponent. Of course, Danny Garcia, he says, I'm not fighting that guy. No one knows who he is. Who is he? Right? So nobody knows who Victor Postal is. Oh, but we all knew who Rod Soka was. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, Danny. That makes a whole lot of damn sense. Okay? So the point that I'm making is, look, Mikey Garcia don't want to fight nobody. Danny Garcia don't want to fight nobody. I say, hell, put them up against each other. But once again, we got to see if Big Brother is okay with that. So I'll keep following this story, but that's all I got. I'm on to the next one.